What's up, guys? This is Carter Thomas. Let me put this down with Coin Mastery TV. Gosh, I think we're up to episode 11 or something like that. So very, very exciting. Thank you all. If you haven't already, make sure you go subscribe on YouTube, Coin Mastery channel. Make sure you listen to the podcast, go to the blog post, all that good stuff. In these videos, we do daily videos where we go through the crypto markets, talk about what's happening so that you guys can make better decisions, make more money, and also just hopefully get a different perspective on a lot of the fear and hype and crap that may be out there. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm not a professional trader. Definitely not a financial professional in that sense. But I've had a good amount of success with investing and with business, and I know a lot about human behavioral psychology within markets. So I've done very, very well in crypto so far, and not just like, I bought really early, like by trading, I've done really well as well. So hopefully I can impart some of that with you. And as always, we're just going to dive right into it. Now, we like to start with the top level stuff where we look at Crypto Watch. Let's take a look now. A lot of red here today, right? Maybe one of these feelings of, oh gosh, here we go again. And my sentiment on what I'm seeing today is a little different than what I saw last week. And if you were, or 2 weekends ago now, remember the last time it crashed, like kind of July 19th-ish. The message of that video was, don't freak out, go buy everything you can, right? And it came back up. It was like a 30-40% jump back up. This one is a little different because I don't think that this one is about fear as much as it's about uncertainty. I'm gonna talk about what I mean by that. But those are two different emotional responses, where with fear, there's a lot of sell, I don't know what to do. Gosh, I don't wanna lose my money. With uncertainty, it's more about just parking money somewhere so that you can buy in strategically somewhere else. Maybe it's a hold, but often uncertainty is driven by smaller, bigger people, right? We call those whales in financial trading world. Meaning, my personal speculation is that there are a handful of people that are driving the price down so that they can buy it really cheaply before August 1st, where there is going to be a bit of a split, which I'll talk about, so that they can make a lot more money after the fact. Now this can work out well for everybody, but I'm not going to tell you that you should necessarily buy yet. No matter what, you should never listen to what I'm saying as like the be all end all. This is just my opinion, so don't take it as professional advice. But that's why you're seeing this. So what I did today is I went on my trading account and I set limit orders for very, very low prices. Basically 25% drops from when I first looked at the charts. What this means is that for things like Bitcoin, I would set a limit buy, which means that a limit buy means that you buy at a certain price limit at about 2,000. I said, look, if it drops to 2,000 and if it crosses that threshold, buy this many Bitcoin or whatever the threshold is for you. If it's anything below that, I'm not too worried about it. Maybe before I go to bed tonight, maybe I'll set one for like 2,200 just to catch another dip. But I'm going to let this thing play out. I just want to capitalize on it if it crashes. It's all I really care about at this point. I did the same thing for Litecoin. I did the same thing for Ethereum. 25% below what the market rate is. Set a limit order for about 20-25% of what my cash reserves are. And call it a day. I don't care if it goes up and down 10% today. Like this is just all. This is not a real market force, and this is not fear. This is just people messing with the markets, and I have no idea what they're going to do, right? And so I'm only preparing for a big, big drop, in which case I'll get a smoking deal. That's it. So that's something to think about, and that's also why you're not, if you guys are on Twitter, Facebook groups, that's why you're also not seeing people freaking out, right? There are people who are asking a lot of questions like, hey, what's going on? Is this for the August 1st fork? Well, but remember, a week and a half ago, people were like, the world is ending, Bitcoin's crashing, I got to get out. So it's less fear, it's more uncertainty. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. Set those limit orders. I don't think they're going to fill. I think that this is just going to keep stagnating the way it has been. Boring, just horizontal trading, which is like, you don't do anything on those days. Everything else is pretty much in line with that. Nothing's really popped out at me. I looked through, like we talked about last time, these smaller cap coins, right? They don't drop nearly as much, but that's because they don't have the volume. There's nothing you could really say about that. I'm just kind of looking at it all and just saying, well, this is just how it goes. I think that there's people manipulating the market. If it goes way down, I'm gonna buy. If not, don't sweat it. Let's take a quick look at LedgerX. We're seeing the same thing. Typically, you see a bigger, an accelerated move with altcoins in relation to the major three, right? Because Ripple kind of is his own beast, right? So Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. We're seeing the same thing. Some of these coins that were up a lot are doing really well. Like Stratus was up to 25 the other day. Digibyte was number one in volume yesterday. AntShares was, so all of these are just taking a hit, as you can imagine. A lot of people are just moving their money around. I don't think it's fear. I think it's uncertainty, which is a difference. So I wouldn't recommend diving in anything quite yet, right? I think that this is still part of the up and down for the next week or so. I think that this could easily keep going down tomorrow, next day, which is why once people start freaking out, that's when I'm like, okay, let's buy some more, Civic or OMG or like that's when you get in. But no one's freaking out quite yet. So I'm all about the freakouts. Same with the Ethereum market. And then down below, you can see it all. Specific coins that have caught my attention. One thing that I've noticed, and I've mentioned this briefly, is if you want to, I don't know if anybody's done an analysis on this. I think this would be a really interesting analysis. This is something I've just seen anecdotally, right? Just from my own observations, which is not technical. I don't pretend to be a technical person. But I think that some of the coins that get a lot of the volume and a lot of the attention, like Stratus is a good one, I think that sometimes they can predict the market trends before other coins do. Well, there I go, freezing my movie again. I'm just gonna kill that. And so that's one thing I've been trying to do is, I'll actually print these out or do screenshots of them, and then I'll layer them over each other and compare them day to day and see if it actually does in fact lead the charge. And the reason I'm not saying that Stratus is every day is because sometimes it's Ethereum, sometimes it's Digibyte, sometimes it's Coin, sometimes it's Civic or Golem or anything. But I think that's going to be interesting, where you start to see certain coins leading the trend lines that give you a couple hour, maybe even half a day's worth of edge to see what's going to happen next. Is this a proven theory? I don't know. It's just something I'm looking at. It's something that I spent about an hour yesterday looking at it all. But yeah, like I said, overall, I think this is one of those days where it does look attractive to buy some of these, coins that have dropped a good amount. Even whatever is your jam. If there's a coin that you own that you are in long term that you want to average down on, right? Like if you know you're buying up Stratus for the long term, and you can lower your dollar cost average, this may be a good day. But I don't think that this is a good day to buy if you're looking to just flip it, right? Because I don't know, this just doesn't have the same market sentiment to pop as soon as some news comes through. Now let's talk about exactly what that news is. I'm going to start with August 1st. A lot of people might not realize last week a couple of days ago when the SegWit thing, all the miners seemingly said, hey, we're going to agree to have one chain of Bitcoin. In fact, that while they all agreed, there is still going to be a hard fork. And it's becoming increasingly clear that, in fact, that hard fork is making a bit of noise. That is where the uncertainty is coming from. It's called Bitcoin Cash. This will not be available on many exchanges, at least not yet. Maybe it will be once it goes live, because if it gets popular, everyone's going to offer it. But this is what's causing the uncertainty. People wondering, what does this even mean? Now, this is an awesome article. Go to medium.com/@JimmySong, JIMMYSONG. This is probably the best article. Very well written, really smart guy. And what this just, it explains what's going to happen on August 1st. Essentially, the Bitcoin blockchain is going to get duplicated, and you are now going to own just as many Bitcoin Cash Bitcoins as you own regular Bitcoins. So let's say you own 5 Bitcoins right now, and you're holding it in your wallet. As of August 1st, you will now own 5 regular Bitcoins, and you will own 5 Bitcoin Cash Bitcoins, right? So you'll have 2 currencies. You're essentially doubling your money. Now, it's not as easy as like, hey, you're going to have all this new money, because if Bitcoin Cash is worth $500 and Bitcoin is worth 3,000 as of August 1st, your regular Bitcoin is going to be worth 2,500, and the Bitcoin Cash will be worth 500 to equal what the original Bitcoin was trading at, right? So you're kind of splitting the revenue into 2 parts. So you're not actually making any money. You're just getting 2 new coins. Now it's kind of like a stock splitting, right? Now both of those can go up like crazy, maybe not. But this is why there is uncertainty, and it's not fear. People just don't know what's going to happen. Is Bitcoin Cash going to skyrocket? Is it going to go down to 0? Right? Because whatever happens to that particular coin price is going to directly impact the regular Bitcoin price, right? Because it's siphoning off a massive amount of value automatically. So I honestly don't have an opinion on this quite yet. I got to talk to a bunch more people. It's always hard because, like some people are like, hey, I'm just going to liquidate these coins and then roll that cash back into Bitcoin. And if that happens in a big way, Bitcoin Cash is going to plummet in price and Bitcoin regular is going to skyrocket. If people decide to hold on to that Bitcoin Cash, it may actually end up going up in price, and regular Bitcoin could stagnate or drop. You never know. I don't think that's going to happen. If I had to guess, I think the Bitcoin Cash is probably going to get liquidated pretty quickly, and the regular Bitcoin is going to just go through the roof. But that's why there's uncertainty. That's why you're seeing these price drops that I don't think are going to spike back up. I think that this is a really good case of game theory where, people cannot collude. Everyone's self-interested. So you got to do it. Now, one thing I will say, if you have your coins and they're sitting on Coinbase, they are not going to give you the Bitcash coins quickly. Now, you will have these coins available to you. You will have them in the ecosystem, on the blockchain. You have your name. They are reserved for you, but Coinbase is just not going to give them to you. You're just going to have to move them to a new wallet and go redeem them, basically. Now, go read this article. It's going to explain this better than I can. What I've done, I have hardware wallets. I have everything offline. I rarely keep coins on exchanges for more than a couple of days when I'm trading them. And wallets like Trezor and Ledger will both automatically just give you the coins directly into your wallet. So I'll wake up the next day and there will be double the coins available at the market rate. Okay, go check out this blog post. It's super helpful, but this is what's causing the price drops. It's not fear, it's uncertainty. It's a different beast, because that's more about predicting the markets, and honestly, nobody knows how to do that. You can predict fear, but it's very difficult to predict the uncertainty. It's kind of like predicting anybody who's from the United States, being able to predict the election results. nobody knew. Like it was such an uncertain time. This is kind of the same deal where it's more like making a bet than a strategic bet. So that's that. Third piece of news that I thought was really interesting is this. LedgerX, which is a kind of, I guess, a startup, they just got approval by the what's called the CFTC, which is a commodities version of the FTC. They got approval to open up a derivatives trading floor this fall, and that they're going to be able to trade derivatives on Bitcoin for now. Probably extend that to other currencies down the road. And for anybody who doesn't know much about derivatives, this is options trading, right? Futures trading. If you don't know what those are, it's really just like a secondary market that you can make a bet on how much something is going to go up or go down, and you can bet solely on that market and never actually own anything in Bitcoin. Now, the reason why this is very attractive to a lot of people is one, it will bring a lot of new publicity and new institutional money into the markets. This is derivatives and options trading in finance is a almost critical piece of the pie because it allows institutional money to reduce their risk, right? And that's a big deal because if you can reduce your risk, these big companies or big banks and traders and all that are much more likely to come in and spend a ton of cash, right? They'll be able to put in a couple $100 million into the Bitcoin market because now they can hedge their bets. So an example would be, let's say they put 10 million into Bitcoin and they're betting that it's going to go up, right? So they're betting a long bet. They can also buy now an option of it potentially going lower for a tenth of the price. But if it does go lower, they can exercise that option and mitigate a lot of the risk. So they kind of get both sides of the equation, right? They cover all their bases. So many people are celebrating this. You may have seen this on Twitter, maybe seen it on Facebook. A lot of people, and it's kind of shocking to me how many crypto traders are like, this is the best. Look how much money is going to come into this space. Now, I do not like this at all. And this has nothing to do with the government or regulation or anything like that. I don't like this because derivatives markets inherently make markets less volatile. All derivatives markets do is make certain people very rich, and they smooth out the curves. So the days of us seeing 20-30% a day are going to go down significantly. How this trickles down to the altcoin market, I don't know. But inherently, derivatives markets will kill volatility. So it's going to be a lot harder to make money on day-to-day or week-to-week, if that's your thing. Now, if you're just buying and holding, this will probably end up being a good thing, right? Because the amount of money that comes into the Bitcoin ecosystem will be worth it. But, I was a buy and hold guy for a long time. And this is the first time I ever started trading, and I can't believe how much money I made. And it's hard to think that that's just going to be smoothed out because of this new derivatives thing. So, it is what it is. You can't really get pissed or whatever about this because that's just how it goes. What I will say is you can prepare by, one, I think it's really helpful to go research derivatives markets and how that's changed. Just start reading up on a few articles in the past. And two, I think just by owning coin, right? Like just by owning Bitcoin might be one of the best investments, not trading it or anything like that. As they extend this out to other coins that have market caps, right? Ethereum is obviously going to be the next big one because of the size of it. Then, maybe owning Ethereum will be good because you can put a lot of money into this. So I think this is going to grow the size of the market. It's just going to lower the volatility. For some people, that's going to be great news. For some people, it's going to be unfortunate news. But always good to, progress is always a good thing. You just got to adapt and react. And I think that no matter what, we're all just going to continue to see growth. We just got to find it in new ways, which we'll be covering as we go through. So that's really it. Like I said, medium.com, Jimmy Song, great article if you want to know. If you're worried about having your coins on Bitcoin on Coinbase and not getting your coins, don't worry. Like, you will be able to get them eventually. This is going to take you a little longer, but you don't need to freak out. If you own Bitcoins, or if you own anything and they're sitting on an exchange or they're sitting in your wallet right now, the best thing you can do, honestly, is just wait out this whole thing. Just wait until August 2nd until you make any big moves, because uncertainty is always an uncertain world. I'm not really going to do anything unless this just completely bombs out. But stay tuned and keep watching this stuff. And often in times of uncertainty, the best thing to do is just to wait, which is easier said than done. But thanks you guys for watching and for listening. I hope this was helpful. I will see you guys tomorrow. This is Carter with Coin Mastery TV. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.